these little black vacuum tubes that are so hard to get. I have a couple of those vacuum tubes that are of a different filament voltage, and I've never tried to find anyone who has a microphone willing to transform it a little bit.
And that record will remain intact.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
You might, well, we'll talk separately. It looks like we're going live. Here we go. And
okay, David. Happy microphone. Tubes that are so
there we go.
Okay. I have a couple of those vacuum.
There we go. Okay. Well, I'll stop the share. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Oh, Ron, I recognize your voice.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi, Ron.
Morning.
Morning.
Hey, Rob. You okay? You've got the floor.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we were going to do that lead-in music that David had given you, or we're going to skip
The moment
that
has
situation?
passed.
The moment has
Okay.
passed.
Okay. So welcome, everybody. It's great to see you, and I'm glad we're having an opportunity to connect, even if it's on Zoom. It's a whole lot better than just being in my room all by myself. If anybody has an announcement, this would be an excellent time to share it. So speak up if you have one.
I do. This is Kate from All Souls, and I've got actually a few. Next Sunday, Julie Payne Britton is preaching about Women's History Month, and she would love to have us contribute a name and maybe even a photo of our person, and then she would give 2 minutes to talk about it. That was in our newsletter this week. So All Souls folks know that she would love to include this in our service. The other thing that I think all of the churches probably heard about was there's going to be a good concert this afternoon. Long Line for Racial Justice, sponsored by traprock.org. And I guess if just want to let people know at 3:00 for 2 hours. And I think that was all I would want to say now. Thank you.
Well, if you want it,
Our Annie Hassett is going to be performing in that concert.
and I strongly suspect Sarah Pertl will be as well. Many of you know and love.
On Thursday, the Interfaith Council of Franklin County is sponsoring part 3 of Lifting the Veil Racism in Franklin County. Contact me if you want details.
Is there any way to hear the concert on Zoom?
Yes, it is on Zoom. Lori, if you
So do I need,
send me your email and I'll forward you the link.
I'll have to call you after the service. I don't have email. Who do I call?
Call me, Sandra.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Any other announcements before we move on? Okay, so as a kind of modified call to worship, I want to share a tiny poem that was written when I had a chance to work at a center for the blind. And this woman ardently resisted that she could write a poem. She was, quote, not a poet. And eventually I invited her to just see what her fingers would jot down on paper. And afterwards, she very shyly handed me this slip. And I looked at it, and it's got to be 40 years since I first saw it. And it's among the millions of fragments that have fled my brain. this one somehow still remains. Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But we know by the leaves on the trees when that old breeze blows by. And the second is a very favorite verse from Rumi that I bet all of you probably have heard, but seems so helpful to remember in this time of intense polarization. Out beyond ideas of right and wrongdoing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. Nowadays, we'd have to also meet and stay socially distanced, but we could still try to meet. Anyway, here we are in all our separate little living spaces connected on this Zoom screen. And it's really a treat that someone who's been in my life almost as long as that poem and who's written songs that have stayed in my brain every bit as gratefully as the line in that poem. Our special guest musician today, David Roth.
Good morning, everybody. Are you ready to sing a song you've never heard before? And if you're lucky enough to be sharing your Zoom room with another person, you could look at them right now and say, I can't wait to hear you sing with David. So go ahead and do that. Otherwise, here we go. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. That's it. Here we go. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. You are here. You are here for the greater good of all, greater good of all, the greater good of all. You are here for the greater good of all, greater good of all. We are here. We are here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. We are here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. You take your turn. Here we go. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. Repeat that line, the greater good of all. A little slower now. The greater good of all.
Thank you, David. I'm pretty sure this is the time that we're going to share our chalice lighting. And if people have a chalice that they'd like to light, that would be great. And Kate, would you like to say our chalice lighting?
Yes. We gathered this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. we light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
Thank you, Kate. I'll leave it back over to you, David.
Okay, our morning reading this morning comes from Woody Guthrie, someone who inspired me way back when. This is one of the many great things he said. He says, "You are a songbird right this minute. Today you're a better songbird than you was yesterday, 'cause you know a little bit more, you've seen a little bit more, and all you got to do is just park yourself under a shade tree, or maybe at a desk, if you still got a desk, and haul off and write down some way you think this old world could be fixed so as it would be twice as level and half as steep."
And that's going to lead into the latest incarnation of our All Souls Church Covenant. You're welcome to look along with me, and I'm hoping any minute through the magic of Zoom it will instantly appear. Presto, there it is. In this house, we covenant with one another to create a community built on a foundation of love, to accept responsibility for our individual acts, and to work together to promote equality, justice, and peace, to stand on the side of love, embracing the liberation of oppressed minorities, and working to end discrimination and unjust privilege, to communicate with kindness and support, and to serve with compassion and commitment, to listen respectfully and value our diversity as a source of our collective strength, to learn and grow together, generously sharing our time, talents, and treasures, to celebrate the joys of discovery, from the wonder of youth to the wisdom of age, to openly share our laughter and our tears, and show reverence for the divine in all that is. Blessed be.
You ready for some more singing? I know you'll be on mute, but sing along with me just the same. It's what's called a zipper song. The word changes every once in a while, but the essence is the same. I'm looking for more kindness in this world. I'm looking for more kindness in this world. If it's there and I don't see it, I guess I'm gonna get to be it. I'm just looking for more kindness in this world. Try it with me, here we go. I'm looking for more kindness in this world. Same thing. I'm looking for more kindness in this world. If it's there and I don't see it, I guess I'm gonna get to be it. I'm just looking for more kindness in this world. What else? I'm looking for more grace in this world. There it is. I'm looking for more grace in this world. If it's there and I don't see it, if it's there and I don't see it, I guess I'm gonna get to be it. I am just looking for more grace in this world. My turn. Oh, this is what I'm seeing. We're in trouble A to Z, and there's no quick solution anyone is willing to make. Even though it may be glaring, it is time to be more daring, and it's time to be more caring, for goodness sake. I'm looking for more loving in this world. I'm looking for more loving in this world. If it's there and I don't see it, I guess I'm gonna get to be it. I'm just looking for more loving in this world. What else? I'm looking for more peace in this world. I'm looking for more peace in this world. If it's there and I don't see it, I guess I'm gonna get to be it. I'm just looking for more peace in this world. Here I go again. This is what I'm seeing. We're in trouble A to Z, and there's no quick solution anyone is willing to make. Even though it may be glaring, it is time to be more daring, and it's time to be more caring, for goodness sake. I'm looking for more justice in this world. I'm looking for more justice in this world. If it's there and I don't see it, I guess I'm gonna get to be, and I'm just looking for more justice in this world. And I'm looking for compassion in this world. I'm looking for compassion in this world. If it's there and I don't see it, I guess I'm gonna get to be, and I'm just looking for compassion in this world. Justice. I'm looking for more justice in this world. Peace. I'm looking for more peace in this world. Loving. I'm looking for more loving in this world. Grace. I'm looking for more grace in this world. Kindness. I'm looking for more kindness in this world. I'm looking for more kindness in this world. Great singing. I heard you.
I have a feeling this.
Oh, this is the time for the offering. I thought you guys were all over
No,
that.
no problem. So those folks from Bernardston, never referred to as Bernardston, any of you who might like to share how people can make a contribution to your church, could you please maybe just put that in the chat right now? And likewise, those folks from where I used to live, actually, Northfield, goes back a ways, but my daughter was born there. If you could also put that information up for First Parish from Northfield, and then you can see that good old All Souls, we're like way ahead of this. Rocky's already got all our information right up there for people. And I know it's not the same as when people walk around like ushers and you get to give somebody some cash or a check in person. But I also know that it's part of what helps all of these churches to sustain. And in the same way that it's so important to have sustainability for environmental and other reasons, it's the same thing when it comes to a church community. So a big thanks to all of you who are contributing.
That's me.
With that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, David.
Great. Well, a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm David Roth, and if we're meeting for the first time today, I look forward to the next meeting in person, but I also want to extend my thanks to All Souls in Greenfield, the Bernardston Unitarian Church, and First Parish in Northfield for participating in this service across three congregations and communities, and anyone else who may have straggled in. I come to you as David Roth, NCAA, no credentials at all, but I have been speaking and singing at UU churches, fellowships, congregations, and societies for many years. Started off as a guest musician, and as I've gotten chattier, it's developed into these things that I now call a sermon and song, or message and music. And today we're going to talk about one world, many concerns. That's about the widest brushstroke I could possibly make. And I hope that the songs will speak for themselves about our one human family. For the last 4 years, Guadalupe checked in to the Phoenix office of immigration. Both of her kids, U.S. born. But everything changed the day they took her away. In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, you come for me. For the last 2 years, Kamal made his rounds. Interfaith Medical Center, New York City. He went to Sudan to visit his mom. But everything changed, he couldn't come back, he was stranded. In the home of the brave, in the land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Kamal, you come for me. Give me your tired, your poor huddled masses. This is America, built by dreamers, yearning to breathe free. If I had to leave my country, what would I do? If the way I dressed was a trigger for you, if I'm not welcome here, where would I go? Could I sail away on an unknown ocean of hope? In the home of the brave, in this land of the free, we are immigrants and pilgrims and refugees from every nation, one family. When you come for Guadalupe, for Kamal, when you come for my neighbor, you come for me. My father, Irving, long since departed, was a Russian Jewish immigrant, and he had 2 kids, me and my older sister. And his only hope for his only son was that I might one day become a lawyer or a doctor, or a cantor, or a dentist, or accountant, anything with credibility. I became a folk singer. And his only other child, my older sister Deborah, is a retired Unitarian Universalist minister. So there you have it. This next song is based on a true story about 2 amazing people down in Florida. I heard about this a few short years ago, and no names are changed, but a paradigm is mightily shifted. Jessica Robles, a single young mother, was struggling to feed her 3 kids. She went to the market without any money. Family had fallen on hardship. She put what she needed right into her shopping cart. Did not take one extra thing. Some milk and some meatballs, some hamburger helper, canned corn, peaches, and chicken wings. Her kids were so hungry, she had to do something. Never had planned to be poor. She didn't know who else she could turn to. Rolled that cart right out the door. That's where a policewoman saw Jessica Robles and caught her red-handed in this. I can't go to jail, Jessica sobbed and she pleaded. Who'll take care of my kids? Officer Thomas saw a much bigger picture, much larger than milk or than bread. Arresting this mother would solve nobody's problems. She had a notion instead. She pulled out her wallet and took out 6 20s and paid for those groceries in full. When others caught wind of this story, more money came pouring in for Jessica Robles. A woman named Mayra gave $200. She said, I've been right where she is. One local businesses kicked in with 500 more for her kids. When that story appeared on the late evening news, someone watching offered Jessica a job. To say she was grateful would not scratch the surface. Went down to her very last straw. The world may seem random, and bad things may happen. Without rhyme or reason, it seems. But now and again, something stunning reminds me that goodness is more than a dream. Goodness is more than a dream. Sing that with me. Goodness is more than a dream. Goodness is more than a dream. That story brings to mind what I call mindful optimism, not mindless optimism. Optimism with intention. But that's not to say that everything is always going to be okay. Well, briefly, I've been a full-time musician for 33 years now and counting. And every once in a while, something really wonderful happens. More often than not, I must say. I'm a very, very lucky person, and I count my blessings every single day. But 12 years ago, actually, a fan letter poured in. It was a really good year, and it was written by a 12-year-old girl who had been dragged to one of my concerts by her parents, who were old friends of mine. And about a month later, her father sent me this school report that Alana Baldwin had to write for school about what she had done that weekend, which was one of the things going to my concert. So My friend Grant sent it to me about a month later, said, "Hey, David, I just found this on my desk, and I thought you'd get a kick out of it." Well, I said 12 years ago, I've been reading this letter just about every concert, church, appearance, coffee house, conference, camp you can imagine. And to me, it still bears repeating. From the eyes of a 12-year-old. Oh, excuse me, she was 9 at the time. The title of the paper, David Roth, by Alana Baldwin. David Roth is my hero. I was as surprised as you. He's a great singer, songwriter, guitar player, and he sang at my parents' wedding, which I did. David Roth writes funny songs and inspiring songs. His funny songs make people that are even down in the dumps laugh. His inspiring songs like Yes We Can, Practice Makes, I hope you didn't say perfect, Practice Makes Progress, and some others make me have confidence, courage, C-O-A-R-A-G-E, and encouragement. That's the word she wrote on the page. It's right there, encouragement. And I knew exactly what she meant, but I loved this word, so I immediately put it into the David Roth Imaginary Digital Dictionary. And you could find it there if you can get access by enabling your cookies and sending them to my house. It's under encouragement, and the definition is to have cooj. And when I looked at this word on the page, I realized exactly what cooj is, and it's exactly what I had really needed the last several years, especially the last few months and weeks. Encouragement, to have cooj. Cooj is courage without the rage. So that's my goal. Yes, it was on a t-shirt, back in the days when I was doing live appearances. I brought my t-shirts and my CDs and my flash drives to all the places, and I'm starting up again in January of 2022. For the time being, I consider Zoom a miracle that we can even do this sort of thing. So just a little bit more from Alana, who wrote, David has been playing and singing for over 20 years. Now it's 33. He's tall, skinny, and has gray hair. 13 years ago. And here's the best line of all. I'm amazed that even how old he is, he can still get all the high notes. So that's probably all I need to read of that. I just wanted to give you a 9-year-old's perspective on the man who's speaking into your screen today, and to let you know that there are times to take myself seriously and other times not so much. Another amazing true story. Ahmed had a plastic gun, a toy, that's all it was. He got it from his uncle one December just because. The older boys were rebels and he liked to play along. And one day he'd grow up to be as big and brave and strong. Israeli soldiers often searched the Jenin camps and towns. They were looking for insurgents, they were always cracking down. The residents resented these intrusions on their homes. The rebels fired rifles, the younger boys threw stones. One Thursday came another clash between these warring groups. Again the bullets, stones, and rocks, the rebels and the troops. A soldier saw a gunman and he fired at a boy. The victim was a 12-year-old, his weapon was that toy. Hamid al-Khatib was taken off to Ramallah, but his wounds were such that he was transferred out to Israel, a hospital in Haifa where the Jewish doctors did every single thing they could to help this child live. Despite their greatest efforts, Ahmed passed away. A family's worst nightmare turned reality that day. And that's when they had every reason to exact revenge, to carry out this history of this hatred between men. They could have shouted out in anger, outrage, grief, and pain. They could have caused a riot, against the Jews who'd killed their son. What would they do to face this darkest hour of their lives? They donated all his organs so that others might survive. A liver for a baby, 2 kidneys for a child, 1 lung each, a girl and boy ages 4 and 5. A woman in her 50s got the second chance she'd need. A 12-year-old received the heart of Ahmed Al-Khatib. And some were Palestinians, and some of them were Jews. The family's intention was that no one be refused. The neighbors asked the father about this decision he had reached. A heart that can forgive will bring us closer to peace. A powerful reminder to those who might forget the humanity of those who live on the other side of the fence. Somewhere in this world today, 6 people live and breathe the legacy of those who cherished Ahmed Al-Khatib. Well, a lot of ground to cover in a short period of time. I'm going to play one more song as part of this sermon in song, and then I will play the next hymn. I want to thank Dan on tech this morning, and I want to thank Rob Peck, my friend of many years, for making me an offer I couldn't understand. And if you feel like singing a little bit more, this is a new song written during the lockdown, but it's a call and response song. Came about within the last few months, and when I sing a line, you're welcome to sing it back to me or just take it in. If you're someone like me who is ready for things to change, not just a little bit, but a lot. I'm ready for change. I'm ready to move. There's no one to blame. There's too much to do. I'm ready to go, to get back on track. It's time to move on, and there's no turning back. It's my sacred job to strike some kind of chord, to challenge and help, not to measure or sort. Everyone gets a chance with nothing to prove. And when I do my part, then the mountain will move. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves with passion and purpose, and we can achieve the high promise of truth and the fight for what's fair, to see that all people get their fair share. So I'm ready for change. I'm ready to go. It's long overdue, and a debt that we owe. Everyone gets a chance with nothing to prove. And when I do my part, then the mountain will move. When I do my part, then the mountain will move. I'm ready for change. Hymn number 2. As we come around to take our places at the table, a moment to remember and reflect upon our wealth. Here's to loving friends and family, and here's to being able to gather here together in good company and health. And may we wish the best for everyone that we encounter. May we swallow pride and may we do away with fear. For it's only what we do not know that we have grown afraid of, and only what we do not choose to hear. And may the light of love be shining deep within your spirit. May the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. And as we bless our daily bread and drink our day's libations, may we be reminded of the lost and wayward soul, the hungry and the homeless that we have in every nation. May we fill each empty cup and bowl. May the light of love, may the light of love be shining deep within your spirit. May the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. Horn of plenty, may the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. One more chorus. May the light of love, may the light of love be shining deep within your spirit. Torch, may the torch of mercy clear the path and show the way. Horn of plenty, may the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you every day. Every day. May the horn of plenty sound so everyone can hear it. May the light of love be with you. May the light of love be with you. May the light of love be with you every day. I think we move back to Rob for personal joys and concerns at this point. Yeah.
Muted, Rob.
Thank you, David. A beautiful sermon and song, and that last song is one that's been a treasure for me and so many others for decades and decades. So this is our opportunity to share both the joys and the concerns, the things that we feel like we really want to have a chance to just rejoice and celebrate in community with, and things that it would be helpful to just speak so that we can get some support in. So anyone who would like to share a joy and concern, please feel free to do so.
This is Roy in Berniston, and I want to share a concern that Mark Twain had years ago. He said, "Ah, yes, Congress met recently. I was afraid they would." And on the other side of that coin, spring has arrived, and I'm very pleased about it. I'm going out in the warmth and the sunshine.
Oh, no.
Can I get in? Through Joyce? Rob, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can everyone else hear?
Go ahead.
Okay. Our audio on our computer's not working, but I'm on my phone with the chalice and the candles there, so I can light some candles. The three that I've lit, one is for Reverend Steve Wilson, whose birthday is Monday, our minister who will be back with us in April 28th. And Lenny Gaudet, who's one of our longtime artists of the Meeting House Artists. Their birthdays are both on Monday. And then the third candle is I'm sending out love to the wonderful Asian students that gave me so much joy. And I'm so sad about the situation that we're in, where there's bad feelings for Asian Americans and those of Asian descent, because the Asian students I worked with had such big hearts and worked with kids in our community and did so much service. And I'm just lighting a candle of love for them.
I'd like to
Go ahead.
I'd like to hold in the light all the members of Congress this week as they battle over the truth about democracy and voting in this country, and how that will have just long range effects on the future of our country.
And I'd like to follow that up by saying hurrah, because the Massachusetts legislature held up against 2 vetoes by the governor, and we now have the climate change bill you would not believe. If you look around yourself and you say 1 out of every 2 houses is going to be net zero by 2030. Just think of that for a minute. 1 out of every 2 buildings net zero by 2030. And that's only a start. No fossil fuel cars by 2035. Just think about that for a minute. No fossil fuel cars will be sold in the state by 2035. Just think of that. And there's a lot more.
Bravo for all your fighting for it, Pam.
Yeah.
Yes, ditto. Ditto.
Yeah. We're gonna.
Yay, Pam.
Thank you. Yep.
Maybe we should just call this section Joys and Pam. Who else would like to share? And it can also be a concern.
I wonder if you heard me earlier when I talked about the joy and concern I had.
Roy, I heard the wonderful Mark Twain quote, but if anybody else didn't, it's worth saying again. But then after that, it did seem like it got garbled.
Okay, Mark Twain had a concern. He said, I believe that Congress met recently. I was afraid they would. On the other side of that coin, I have a joy that spring has come. I expected spring to come and it did. So I'm going outside to the sun and the warmth later today. Everyone else should do the same if they can. Thank you.
Lean in.
Okay, here I am, Annie Hassett. Let me see some joys. Joy that Nancy Hazard, our beloved friend and community person, is out of the hospital doing recovering. Another joy is that there's going to be a wonderful concert that Sarah Pirtle and others organize. It's today. Be there at B Square. It'll be 2:45. There's a link. I have a link. Other people have a link. Sandra, it's gone out on Facebook. You can join. It's free, and it's going to be really one wonderful concert. Pat Humphreys, a lot of people from around the United States. Let me see.
Annie Hassett.
Yes, and Annie Hassett. Yes. And the other thing is we laid to rest our good friend Stefan Gordon. I'd like to hold some thoughts for him, his wonderful wife, 25 years to the day of when they had their first date that he was laid to the ground. So God bless him and all the other things that he's done for us.
Thank you, Annie. I have a joy that somehow things stay connected in the world. And what I mean by that is that, I don't know, some maybe 25, 30 years ago in Seattle, I was invited to a little workshop in a friend's house, Janet Stecker, and it was David Roth teaching songwriting. So it's just really sweet to feel that full circle thing that happens in life every now and then. So David, it's a pleasure to see you again.
My joy this morning was hearing David play his music, and as each song ended, he let the sound of the guitar or the piano let us hear it right until that sound was gone. And I don't usually hear that, because in concerts people clap or whatever on records. And I really, it took me by surprise, and I enjoyed that. And I guess I'm thankful that I could hear it. And so that's my joys for this morning. Thanks.
I have a joy too. I found out this week that someone who I had met but never really connected with had been thinking of me like 6 months down the road, and out of the blue she contacted me and we had an hour-long plus conversation on the phone yesterday. So I'm really joyful that she reached out and connected with me. And I'm also really astounded that, you know, I made an impression on somebody I didn't even really think I had made an impression on. So the idea that, wow, there are kind of people out there who are paying attention, even when I'm not. And some of that attention is coming back to me was a really wonderful thing to find out about. So that's my joy. A surprise.
Are there any other joys and concerns that people would like to share?
This is Kate again. And I do have a joy. My son has a cow. It's a Dexter cow, and she's in labor. And we've been at the edge of our seats for 2.5 days, not really knowing how long a cow is in labor. But I'm headed out there after church, and to babysit while he's gone for a few hours out to Shelburne Falls. So Joy.
All right, I'll hopefully wrap this up, but someone else is still sitting on something that.
I see Chris. Chris, did you? No?
Go ahead, Chris.
I just wanted to ask Kate what a Dexter cow is. Unmute, Kate.
The small multi-purpose. It's a beef and milk, and it's nice. It's about shoulder high, my shoulder high. So it's a good little cow, and she's a heifer, so she doesn't know what's going on.
Oh.
No Lamaze.
So I'll wrap this up with a concern and a couple joys. The concern is that my cousin Lisa, who had her 14th surgery last week, is still dealing with a difficult recovery, and I send lots of love and prayers out to her and her family. The joy is that my daughter is doing better, and my partner Debka is on this call at a freshly vaccinated Johnson & Johnson. So one step closer to normalcy, with the exception of the fact that our partner is me, which puts her a long step away from normalcy. Anyway, glad that we have had a good long sharing, but I know we need to move on. So David, have you got a hymn or a closing song for us?
Well, I've got a sung response to joys and concerns, and then a benediction and a postlude.
Beautiful.
Put them all together. Very short sung response to all the beautiful sharing I've just heard. For all these things both said and held, may we add thoughts and prayers and action to support and help our families, friends, and neighbors. And our benediction today comes from Jack Kornfield, his book, A Path with Heart. All other spiritual teachings are in vain if we cannot love. Even the most exalted states and the most exceptional spiritual accomplishments are unimportant if we cannot be happy in the most basic and ordinary ways, if, with our hearts, we cannot touch one another and the life we have been given. What matters is how we live. This is why it is so difficult and so important to ask this question of ourselves. Am I living my path fully? Do I live without regret? So that we can say on whatever day is the end of our life, yes, I have lived my path with heart. I stand for love, stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you. I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you. You know our world is in great pain, she needs our loving care again. But there are those who fail to see what we have done and what we need. There is a cost for every act, and now there is no turning back. We burn a bridge, we bang the drum. It's time to rise, the time has come to stand for love, to stand for peace, to stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true, to stand for hope, to stand for you. And if you're thinking it's not urgent, that we've got more time to kill, if I'm not the one who will change things, then for heaven's sake, who will? So I will move, I will climb this mountain one step at a time. I won't be swayed, I will not stop until we've made it to the top, where we will stand for love and peace, we'll stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. We'll stand for hope, we'll stand for you, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
Beautiful, David. Thank you so much. So if those of you would like to be in your own separate breakout rooms with your church, we certainly will respect you.
If I could just do a little bit of follow-up here.
Please.
I've had some things in the chat. If you'd like to connect with David again or refer friends to what some of the things he does have his own website, davidrothmusic.com. And we mentioned earlier in the Joys and Concerns that Annie and other people will be at, and Gareth helpfully gave us this www.forgirls.com/events. You can find that there. And if I might, some people, basically each church has their post office boxes in case you didn't have time to jot that down, but we do appreciate your support at this time, all three of the churches. And with that, I will set up breakout rooms and let you
Dan,
Dan,
I want to draw attention to the fact that we have some space in our art workshop at 11:30 next Sunday. And I've put my phone number down. People can call or text me to sign up.
Yes, I see it in the chat. Thanks, Annette. I simply wanted to mention that in addition to going to be with your respective church breakout room, our guest David is going to stick around for a little bit. If anybody would like to visit with him, just stay in the main screen, and I'm sure he'd be happy to chat with you. And so from here, I leave it in your competent hands, Dan, to send people where they need to get sent. Just don't send me where I'm going to be sent at the end of my life.
Yeah. Okay, so the rooms are now open, and depending on your device, there might be a little thing at the bottom of your screen that says breakout rooms, and you can click on that and select the room to go to. If you're on certain pad devices, you have to touch your screen before that invitation will show up. And the last resort is you can just tell me which room you'd like to go to if you're leaving the parish hall, Bernardston, Greenfield, or Northfield, and I will assign you. But I see people are going out there. Lori, I know you can't do that, so Lori, just what room would you like to go to? You'll have to hit star.
Yeah, could you just send All Souls?
Okay, will do. All right.
Hey Dan, it's Al. Can you send me to Bernardston?
What device are you on, Al? I'm just curious.
What's that?
What device are you on?
Oh, I'm on my phone this morning.
I see. Okay.
I've been in the kitchen. It's been a wonderful time.
All right. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
David, I'd like to ask you a question.
Of course, and thank you very much for that observation about the ends of songs. You know, that's something that is unique to Zoom, where I can really let the last chord ring out, and there's a lot of vibration still going on, you know, between voice and instruments. So appreciate that observation.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Over your left shoulder, I can see bottom of a portrait of somebody, and I've just been curious, who is that a portrait of?
Well, I'm not sure if you're talking about this.
No, the higher one.
The higher one is a painting of Jimmy Durante.
That's Jimmy Durante.
Yeah, but
Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
But Russ, there's more to the story. If you look behind me to where I'm pointing, you see that there's a photograph there. It's kind of hard to see, but that's an actual photograph of Jimmy Durante with my sister and me sitting in his lap at my dad's nightclub in Chicago.
Wow.
So there's a connection between Durante and my family. Yeah, there's a spotlight of you can see in the back there. That's my sister, the retired UU minister. She's 5'2", and that's her little brother who's now 5'14". So, and that's Durante.
Those wonderful nights at the Shay.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, where in California?
My mom lives about 10 minutes north of LAX, so right up Lincoln Highway in an area called Mar Vista next to Marina del Rey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I lived in far northern California for a while, so I was curious.
Beautiful up there.
Trip. Thank you for today, too. That was really wonderful to hear all that good music.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Thanks. I'm going to go to my breakout room.
All right. Take care.
Going to. Thank you so much. See you again, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jennifer and Nancy, it looks like you're making a quilt of pictures. You're muted, though.
David, when was the last time your mom called in the middle of a gig and you took the call and brought the audience in on the call?
Maybe that was, if you were there when it happened, that might be the last time that I can remember. Is that really Jim Scott I see on the screen?
Hey, it is, David. How are you?
Talk about a great musician right there. You know, I could stop talking right now.
Invitation when I realized he's probably not working this morning.
Dan let me know you were, I only picked it up about 2 minutes of 11, so I missed your best song. I just heard the fillers.
Yeah, well, to make a long story short, I was the guest squeaker today.
Well, it's great to see you. Beautiful songs. A couple that I hadn't ever heard, and I guess nobody's heard. Somebody's heard, but I didn't.
A lot of two-dimensional faces have heard a lot of my new music. You know.
Yeah, that seems to be.
And Jim, I'm gonna jump in here. We've never met, but I have so enjoyed your music over the years.
Jim is amazing.
And you did a whole service for us maybe over the holidays where it was just, I don't know, one sort of song celebrating international connections to December holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
I meant to tell you afterwards how much I really enjoyed not only the program itself, but all the hours and hours that must have gone into figuring it out and learning it. So it was really a joy.
Well, thanks. That's what I hope to use. People have Christmas albums. That's what I hope to use every year when winter holidays and solstice come.
Well, David's pretty much cornered the market on the Hanukkah hits.
Yeah,
so you should go for the Christmas songs.
Well, it was Christmas and David. It was Christmas and holidays, winter holiday like solstice and things like that. All around the world. So
that's
you
beautiful.
like from Peru or Brazil or things which of course are in the southern hemisphere and they're in June. So
Hey, it's solstice. We didn't do it's equinox. Yesterday was equinox, right?
Yes.
How did spring come on the 20th? It doesn't usually come till the 22nd or something. But
it was on the 20th at 5-something a.m.
Wow. Well, I'm ready for it, boy. Yeah, it did take a lot of research, that program. I'd been gathering that for a couple of years, and we just re-edited. I did that program twice with a wonderful violinist there, Angel Hernandez. I couldn't persuade my daughter to do it with me. Louisa had done it playing the violin before, so I'd written the arrangements and everything for violin, but I got Angel to do it. We also did it as one of my Wednesday night concerts, and we just edited that up and took out a lot of dead time and stuff. So I have a good demo of it that I can show people and try to get gigs next year.
Well, I want to do a quick shout out to Gary. Hi, Gary. I saw in the chat briefly that you mentioned a hello from Jeff Levin.
Okay,
And
yeah,
Jan, you were in the songwriting workshop, correct?
I was in the songwriting workshop at Janet Stecker's house in Seattle, and at least 15 years ago, maybe up to 20 years.
Oh yeah, 20 years ago. God, I knew nothing then, and I know just a little bit more now. So
Well, I got to tell you, I have a notebook that still has my notes from that and my very unfinished songs.
Why be in a hurry? That's what I always say,
Right,
you know.
right.
And for those of you remaining, the few of us remaining here that don't know, Jim has a weekly, I think it's at 8 p.m. if I remember correctly, on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook and YouTube, I do a thing. 8 p.m. Wednesdays. I every week has a theme. In fact, this week is how I write songs and why. So it's sort of a songwriting workshop. I don't do songwriting workshops. David's the master songwriting workshop guy.
Yeah, David, I remember taking a songwriting workshop with you at the Row Camp and Conference Center. Do you remember that?
Did row a few times. Of course, they have the Cape Cod Songwriters Retreats in Provincetown every year, twice a year now, starting up again next January and March.
Yes, I
and
did.
Summer Songs, which is our big 23-year-old songwriting week-long camp in upstate New York. We've been meeting virtually the last 12 months, but we're gearing up for the summer of 2022 for our 24th year of all levels, level playing field, generous and humble, world-class instructors, the whole thing. Karen, you started to say something and got cut off. What were you going to say?
Actually, I'm glad there are all of these musicians on right now. I have my best friend in high school moved out to California, and she had a longtime partner, and they were both very radical. And but he became a songwriter, sort of a folk singer-songwriter. And I have to say that the instrumentals are not particularly fabulous, but I love some of the words. And unfortunately, my friend has died, and he had a stroke. And about the last CD that he produced was this one. And it's, oh, here it is. It's called
The True Protest.
The True Protest. And one of the songs on it, which is I just love, is The Ballad of Sunset Hall. Sunset Hall was a Unitarian Universalist, I guess, old folks home that was started in the 20s. And the song is just so marvelous. You know, you can't keep those Unitarians down, and they were out protesting and all the things. They organized a union of the workers so that the workers got better paid. And then it was going to be sold. And then they figured that all these old folks, they weren't going to do anything about it, but they definitely organized and protested it, and it was not sold. But he has a lot of other wonderful, interesting songs on here, like
Who is it? What's his name? Who's the artist?
oh, his name is Ross Altman, Altman.
I've heard that name over the years.
And he actually has some performances that where he's recorded something, but I have all of his CDs over the years. And one of the last ones he was going to do, he had written a lot of songs that were connected to Massachusetts in various ways. And I kept encouraging him that he should put out a CD with that, but not going to happen now. But
Well, thanks for filling us in on that. I'll look him up some.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I would just love to get some of these songs out more. There was one folk song he wrote after the election between Bush and Gore in Florida, and it was apparently played on NPR after that election, and it was "It's Okay, Just Click It Twice," and about the whole ballot thing. So
Yeah. I had my songwriting pen out that year too. It was 2000. It was a long time ago. Gush and Bore. You know, my song was called Gush and Bore.
Now it can just be Kush.
Yeah.
I'm about to take off, but
I am too.
really grateful that you came and did this, and apparently that I made you an offer you couldn't withstand.
Understand.
That's what I heard. I heard that, thank you, Rob, you made me an offer I couldn't withstand.
You know, we hear what we want to hear. And
right. Well, first time I heard you was at a house concert at it's so terrible about Kate here in Shelburne Falls.
Oh, no, Kate and Ken Downs, sure.
Oh, right, Kate Downs, of course.
Yeah,
dear friends of mine. I take an annual river rafting trip every August, and we went last August too in Idaho. And Ken came with me, you know, as my partner on that trip, and we had a great time. We've been friends for a long time, ever since he was the Baptist minister in Littleton. A kitty corner from where Fred Smallhead was the settled minister at the Littleton Unitarian Universalist Church there. So Ken and I go way back. He heard this little cassette of mine that I put out in 1988 called May the Light of Love. And he wrote me a letter, longhand, saying, if you're ever in the Boston area, and I was living, where was I living at the time? Probably in Seattle. If you're ever in the Boston area, I'd like to have you come and play for my congregation. And I did, and he had a couple hundred people there to hear someone they'd never heard before. And I'm still friends with some of those people, you know, all these years later.
Yeah. Well, the good thing for me right now is that I've not only been fully vaccinated, my best friend who lives down in the Hartford area in Connecticut is also fully vaccinated. And last Sunday, I went down and spent the day with her.
How
and
sweet.
It was so much fun. You know, we just did ordinary things, but it just felt like it was so wonderful. So now I'm planning a trip. I'm taking the train in a private compartment from Massachusetts. I'm going to go all the way out to Seattle, where I have a lot of friends and relatives from both sides of my family, and we're all of the age where they're now also all vaccinated. So,
I'm curious, how many days does it take on that train? A train from Boston?
Well, actually, I'll get the train. It does leave from Boston. It's called the Lakeshore Limited.
Yeah.
I can get on it in Springfield, and it's overnight to Chicago. Then I'm going to get off for just a couple of days. I'm going to go to Madison, where I have friends, and then come back to Chicago. And then I take the Empire Limited, which is 2 nights from Chicago to Seattle.
What fun. I love a long train ride, you know.
David, before I go, I hope that you'll please give my warm regards to 3 people, one who may not even remember me, your sister Deb, from the Brattleboro also.
I already do, and she already did, and she does.
Oh, good. And the other 2, I'm quite confident will. That's Harold and Reggie.
Okay.
Harold Payne and Reggie.
Yeah.
All right. Be well.
Okay, take care, Rob. I got to dash too pretty quickly. Any last words, anybody, before?
No,
Carry on. I'm curious, David, do you do Sunday services a lot, or is this?
I do a lot actually, Jim, and I was doing them
on
in
your-
person.
on your program?
My first Sunday that was canceled live was to speak at the Unitarian Universalist Church in White Plains, New York, which is where they have Pete's Coffee House, the Clearwater. They do it through that church sometimes, Pete Seeger. And I'm doing one in Florida next Sunday from right here at World Headquarters of David Roth Music. More often than not, I'm doing some kind of talk on a Sunday morning somewhere.
Well, glad you're doing that.
Well, it's a nice change of pace for any given congregation. I work with them closely. We went over the script, Rob and I did with the church people here, and make sure that they're getting their components of continuity, I call them, but that where I can be used in whatever way serves them best, as much as possible or as little as possible. So they were generous with their time this morning, and I like it a lot. So my goal is to, be substantive, meaningful, engaging, and inclusive.
Yeah, well,
that's what I'm hoping for.
great.
So those are sort of my foundations.
Great to hear you. I haven't kept up. I'm a fan, but I haven't kept up. You're doing regular concerts too. Did this get announced someplace and I missed it?
Well, no,
Are
I
you
do
doing
about
it-
one concert a month, on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. I hire a really good tech person for that, so so I say that he can man the tech and I can manhandle the music, and but I don't want to overdo it. For me, once a month feels good, and then I do these Sunday morning things and conferences and things here and there. There's a wonderful thing called the Daily Antidote of Song. Anybody here besides me ever heard of it?
No.
Look it up. The Daily Antidote of Song. For the last over 300 days, a choral singing group in Washington, D.C. area has been doing a song a day at noon Eastern Time with a song leader like me or Reggie Harris or Sally Rogers or just right on down the line, Elizabeth Melvin from Westminster, Maryland. Just tons of great song leaders who teach, good sing-along songs, and they've been doing this consecutively since the pandemic started. So we're coming up on early April on 365 days, and I'll be part of the first anniversary with 4 other leaders, but usually it's one person a day. The Daily Antidote of Song. It's free.
Antidote of Song.
They take donations. And it's just a great community of people, and most of them come just about every single day, and it's 7 days a week.
Yeah, I know Sally Rogers was doing a thing every day, and I haven't.
Gary, you've been to that, haven't you? The Daily
haven't
Antidote.
tuned in lately. Daily Antidote.
Yeah, we're quite frequent participants, and I'm about to post the links right in here. I know there's not many of us left, but give me a second. I'm just copying and pasting from.
It's easy to Google as well, but but
the Zoom link isn't on Google.
But it's on the website. You can join this meeting right from their website, Washington.
Right. Here they are.
Okay.
And and we've been Joe and I have been connecting about getting some other leaders in, like Sarah Pirtle. They met there, and I said, "Oh, you too, Sarah should be on there." So we've been trying to get some introductions.
Yeah, somehow they left me out of Women's Music Month. I'm not quite sure I understand why, but
I'm
coming
always
up again in
disappointed
April.
in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, probably for the same reason they won't let me join Labana.
Very good. So we're getting some dropouts from the other breakout rooms. Hi, Kate, and hi, Ulysses.
I got to run, but good to see you all.
Okay, bye, Gary. Say hi to Jeff if you see him, all right?
I will.
All right, thanks, man.
I got to take off too.
Yeah,
so
I'm going
bye,
shortly.
and hope to see you
Do
again.
you have a
and
question, Kate? Jan, take care, huh?
You too.
Hey, come to one of my songwriting weekends,
All right.
all levels.
Thank you so much, David. That was lovely service.
Welcome.
Very, very you.
Who'da thunk?
Great to catch you, David.
Oh,
Hope we'll be in touch.
Pleasure, Jim.
Some more.
I'll find you.
And
Bye-bye.
I'll tune out too. Bye, everybody.
Okay. All right, that's it. Okay. Yep, there we go. I'm leaving.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to leave this going on YouTube. I'll see you later.